like a cartwheel. No, this ain't right. No, there's gotta be more than the rat race. Gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch. Seems like right now might really be all that I got. Currency right now is my dreams, my love, my art. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. With all fear, self-doubt, and self-deprecate. With a heart on my sleeve and a dream to chase. In a world, in a wood, in another time. Deep breath, fresh air, and a crystal sky. And a faithful guy on an open mic. Or with the spotlight on and the bass up bright. Is it too much to ask for in this lifetime? Oh, I believe there's more than these city walls. I got wings so I hardly fly. Say the bird's eye view so beautiful, but you won't get there until you take flight. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. The very beginning is like a prelude to the song. It's like I'm like a gesture. The chord just is telling you what's setting the scene. Yeah. Yeah. And then when it comes into the hook, that's the song. Like, I need pressure's on, yeah, it's hot. Tell you the story of how night where you don't know, where you don't got till you need it. Scrambling for that dough boy, but everybody's alright, we're alright. I need to catch a break now. I gotta make a way somehow. Oh, I gotta figure it out. Yeah. Oh, help me, Lord. I'll take you to a city where the budget is tight and you can pay your car note or you can keep on your life. She chose the latter, so she gotta wake up early at 5. Ride the buses for an hour to a job she don't like, and she's tired. This shit ain't right. This can't be life, but she's alright. Alright. I'm walking through the neighborhood where teenagers die. Just walking home from the store. He got a run for his life. Police department, something like a lynch mobilized. With a murderer left free after the innocent die. So they fight. 5-0 at night. Tear gas and flight, but we're alright. Alright. Big Brother and Pop had the role, killing himself to provide. Father to his nephews and his nieces he grinds. Husband to two widows, still living his own life as he strives to keep his dreams alive. His art is life and he's alright. Alright. Now I'm a young sister of color in the prime of my life. Somehow I found my way home, the walls came in at night. Wanna be alone so I can exhale and ride. Finding solace on a balcony beneath the moonlight as I ride. I'm free behind the margin lines and I'm alright. Alright. I need to catch a break now. Gotta make a way somehow. Oh, I gotta figure it out. Yeah. Oh, help me, Lord. Ooh, ooh. Pressure's on. Yeah, it's hot. I'll tell you the story of have not. Well, you don't know, well, you don't got till you need it. Yeah, the pressure's on, yeah, it's hot. Tell you the story of have not. You don't know, well, you don't got till you need it.
They say life is what you make it. But I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. They say life is what you make it. But I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend.
Can't hear you.
Whew, can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
You know
Hello.
what? I was practicing. I'm gonna make some good out this shit. I was practicing what they need to do with Trump. You see how y'all couldn't hear me? See, this is the way America should be right now. See, y'all got to
Oh,
play his game. You let him talk. Flip the damn thing off. Nobody can hear him. Did you see how that was? I'm saying everything. Y'all couldn't even hear me. What?
it was heaven.
Come on. And I ain't even him. That's the sad part about it. But that's all you got to do. Flip the damn mute switch. I'm just saying it's in the building. I am not 45. You don't have to flip my mute button. But you know what? I was really wanting to push one so bad last night I forgot to undo mine. Ain't that sad? He 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 upset me so I wanted to mute my damn self.
Oh my God. What a show.
Guys, it is a beautiful day. No matter what he tries to say or do. We're going to claim it, we're going to name it, and we're going to make sure that somebody floats his ass about. Now, I don't like to give him much time because he's undeserving. But I will say that I have never in my life seen anything like I saw last night. I was so tired. Seriously. Until I wanted to sleep all day today. And what that tells me is we cannot do this another 20 minutes, let alone 4 years. So I don't know what you gonna do, but I saw enough to know. And when I tell you that I saw enough to know that some got to give, some's got to give. I'm telling you that this man, this man is something else. And we got to make sure of how we going to handle it. And when I say that, I mean we got to figure it out together. Now, here's the thing: the debacle last night was not just embarrassing, it was a humiliation for our country. We are better than this. We're better than this. Now, we can point fingers, we can do all of that. But all you're going to have is a bunch of fingers coming in directions and still nothing's getting done. And I know that anyone that could pull off what he pulled off last night, we better be ready for. Really ready. Now, y'all already know who I have with me. I have a wonderful guest as always. I don't know if I'm gonna be famous or she gonna be famous when it's over with. Or we're gonna do it together. We have a guest coming in. Don't worry. I have Annika Valley Cole's gonna come in and because she wants to bless us with some things about the replacement of the Supreme Court justice. One thing about it, when Annika's not here, she's an attorney. Everybody knows, and a biochemist. So when she's not here, I'm always blessed with wonderful, smart, intelligent, brilliant people. And so, yeah, the camera's on one right now. She just popped up. So I always have good backup to fill in and awesome conversation because she's going to give it to us straight. And that's Miss Denise Mins Harris. Now, today we are going to play question and answer. I'm going to shock you guys because I need her to answer some questions for me for many reasons. For one, she's been blessed. That's when I say blessed, it's blessed to live. Longevity is wonderful. And she's not even that old. But she's been blessed enough to see a few more debates than I have. And to stomp with the Black Panthers and do so much for this country. So what I want to do is I'm going to introduce her. We're going to do what we call the bacon bread session. Except for our bread, it's going to be quick bread. It's like 2-minute bread. But since she's the only one here, I'm going to give her 3 or 4 minutes. Because she's the one here right now. As the others come in, we'll break it down to 2 minutes. But we want to show somebody, we won't say no name, that we can follow rules. Now, the main thing is, I text Denise, and she knows what I did last night. And the first thing she texts back, probably the only time you're going to get her to say some words that shouldn't be said, you know, because she does do the professional thing right now, was shit show. I wanted to text her back. I wish we could flush it and start over. So that was one of the things. So guys, what we're going to do is discuss the debacle and the humiliation that we all watched and experienced. The best part about this, though, is as I was told, and I know, Denise, I know you probably told the same, nobody can embarrass you but you. So we are not what the America he is trying to make us out to be. So anybody watching from another country or anything, we are not that. That is some replica that somebody put up without even thinking. And we have to find a way to undo that quickly. Because this is not who or what America is. This is not it. This is definitely not a representation of us. Poorly said. Now, topic 1, Denise. I hate to even ask you. What was your opinion of that shit show last night? What were you thinking watching it?
It was abusive. It was intellectually and spiritually abusive to watch that kind of representation. I mean, like it or not, Trump represents the ugliest side of American society. And but I want to add something since I got a couple of extra minutes here.
Good deal. Good deal.
I read an analysis today that I found very interesting and I thought very timely since I was going to be doing this show today. And what the person was saying was that Trump did prepare for this debate, but he prepared to debate a stutterer. He studied how do you trigger a stutterer, and every action he took was to throw Joe Biden off and make him look incompetent and weak. So how you get a stutterer going is with constant interruptions, yelling, personal attacks, and to create a dialogue of chaos. But Biden has been dealing with that impediment for a long time. And so, in spite of, because people are like, why did Trump do it? I didn't even understand why he went that far. He never, although he was always obnoxious in his Hillary debates, this was beyond the pale. And at first, I was like, oh, he's just really afraid and desperate because he realizes he's losing. But no, this was textbook what bullies do to stutterers to make them lose their train of thought and to make them look weak and incapable. But Joe held on, and I'm prouder of him now than I've ever been. The other thing about what I realized during the debate was that Trump, be, because of his constant attacks and disruption, not even attacks, just being this major chaos disruptor when dealing with Biden, then turning that on Chris Wallace. What became very clear was that he was debating the need for an election at all. He wants to set it up so that whatever the outcome of the election is, he can stay in office. And last night, his behavior was his first building block to make that possible. So last night, while on the surface it looked like an absolute shit show, there was a rhyme and reason to what he was doing, and he failed. And the most rewarding thing was, as I was looking at Twitter and Facebook immediately during and following the debate and checking just how people were reacting, so many people who had relatives and friends that were Trump supporters got phone calls saying, you're right, I can't vote for him. So it had an impact, but it did not have the impact he wanted. Other than elevating white supremacists, he achieved nothing. Other than encouraging white supremacists, he achieved nothing. And shame on him and good for us.
You know what? I'm laughing because the thing about that is, you said shame on him and good for us. I couldn't. You said you really answered a question I really couldn't grasp, and I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I learned something, again as always, because I was wondering what could he have gotten out of this, and I thought for half a second about the stuttering thing, but I'm gonna tell you why it didn't hit home with me, because Biden held his own so professionally. You did see a little slight stutter, but he came back to himself like, wait a minute, I've been here before. You get what I mean? And you're not the one. And I even remember hearing him say, wrong guy, wrong day, wrong time.
That's right.
And that meant something, meaning I'm ready because I'm ready in here. You know what I mean?
Also, his team, Biden's debate team that were prepping him, they prepared him for that onslaught. He was ready. Just like he's ready to be president, he was ready for this fool. I'm just more proud of him than ever. More proud of him than I was before.
So that brings me to my, well, we still have a few minutes. Timer hadn't went off, but because we have another question. But since we have a minute, then we can dabble a little bit deeper in it for one real quick, one more second. Now, do you feel like Trump was doing a whistle when they were asking him would he be able to relinquish, step down, and tell his people to be still and let everything take its course?
And not commit violence.
Yeah.
It's funny. someone asked Kamala, someone asked Kamala that, and she said, "Yeah, he's doing dog whistles with a bullhorn."
Because I couldn't believe what he said. He said I will tell them to stand. What is it? Stand by, to stand
Stand
back
back and
and
stand
stand by.
by. And what's somewhat frightening about that, because I was switching to all the different channels, even Fox, to see what their reaction was and how they were playing it. And on CNN, Van Jones talked about a young black boy who was watching a debate for the first time. His friend texted him that the young black boy asked his mom, "Do we need to go out and buy a gun?" And
Wow.
then Rick Santorum, who's a Republican, said one of his people texted him saying that child wondered, do they need a gun? So the impact of fear inducing this man's behavior has. I was talking to a good friend of mine who's very, very active in the Jewish community. And she told me she's going to go get a gun.
Wow.
People, but my response to her was, please understand, the Proud Boys is this dispersed group of white supremacists. They were the organizers of the Charleston alt right march. So they are on the web pages. I think it's called Telegram, that all of those groups gather at. But at the end of the day, what I told her, my comfort zone comes from knowing Obama won twice. Period. So we are the majority. And I do not believe this race war, as much as he wants to propose it can happen, is going to happen in the United States. I just don't believe it.
But with that being said, with the Proud Boys, I want to elaborate on something. Now these guys were at they had early voting. They were put out of somewhere for what they were doing.
Philadelphia.
Now he keeps coming at Antifa. That was our buzzer, but he keeps coming at Antifa, which
Mm-hmm.
you've already said and they've already said is an idea. It's not a group. And why would you say that? Would you break it down? I really want you to one more time because no, just in case some people didn't watch the debate, these fools do not think, are not understanding that this is not a malicious group that Trump is trying to make it out to be. But meanwhile, the Proud Boys are exactly what he's trying to say that Antifa is. Would you tell him what Antifa is?
Okay. So Antifa
Antifa.
is, is short for anti fascist, first of all. Second of all, they are people who are of their own volition, when there's an activity occurring and they know opposition to Black Lives Matter in particular are going to show up, they tend to be white folks for the most part. They come and they put their bodies between the protesters and the supremacists who are trying to disrupt the event. I also want to add that FBI Director Wray said that the terrorists we need to worry about in this country are the white supremacy movement. He specifically said not Black Lives Matter, but the white supremacist movement. And today, a sociologist pointed out that 76% of all terrorist attacks that has happened in this country in the last 10 years, 76% was carried out by white supremacists and white militia groups. So Antifa is not an organized group with a president and a board and dues and member donations. They are Americans of conscience who want to support the Black Lives Matter movement and the movements for social justice in this country. They got nicknamed Antifa. They never called themselves that. And Antifa, again, stands for anti fascist. Nazism is fascism, to help you understand what that means.
Well, I know that I understood it when you told it to me, but I can't understand how the leader of this country can't get an understanding even when someone's telling it to him. And I know his people are telling him the
Yeah,
difference.
but it's like it's not sexy to say it's not an organized movement. It's sexy to make people think there's some underground organized far left radicals waiting to, move into the suburbs and rape your wives and daughters. I mean, that's what he would like people to think because he's stupid. But that was one of the nice things on the debate last night when Biden said to Trump, you wouldn't know a suburb unless you took a right turn and it was
Took a,
going in the wrong direction.
come on.
He's like, this is not the 50s. Today, the suburbs are highly diverse.
He's letting them know when they go into the games, when they go to different things. These people in that van are all different races.
That's what he said. And it's so true. So, he just, people say that Biden didn't land any points last night, but I think those people who walked away saying that weren't listening. When
No,
he could talk, what he said was valuable.
he landed a lot of punches. But what I want to ask you was something he said, and I really hate within myself that I can't recall how he said it. And one of the commentators played it back said it it was something he said to Trump when he said, "Oh my God, I hate it. I didn't. I should have. I'm gonna start doing like you do. Write it down." When he was telling him he was the cause of it. It
Oh,
was.
what he said was, it is what it is because you are who you are.
I knew my cancer girl would have me. I knew it. I knew
That's
it.
the first thing I wrote.
Say it again. Say it
It
again.
is what it is because you are who you are. And that was in relation to talking about COVID-19.
Remember that quote. Don't forget that quote as you walk into the booth and vote. As you sit at your kitchen table and fill out your voting card. The thing is, he said it is what it is because you are who you are.
That's what Biden said
That's
to
what
Trump.
Biden said to 45.
It was amazing.
And
The other thing,
that's what
that,
one of the ones the commentator said would stick with him forever.
that's right. Because Biden was genuinely appalled when Trump was being interviewed, and the person said, well, how do you feel about all the people that have died? And he's like, well, it is what it is. And then he rolled on to make his point. Biden could not stomach letting that go unanswered. That's why he said, it is what it is because you are who you are. He said more than once, he said about Trump's reaction to this whole thing was that you panicked, you gave up, you were weak. It was beautiful.
I love when he called him a clown and when he told him he didn't have he didn't have any knowledge. I think that everything that Trump tried to throw on Biden didn't have to respond to. Well, you were so dumb you don't even know what school you went to, or you were so this you know da da. Because at the end of the day, 47 years and you done nothing.
Well, the thing is, he had these zingers in his pocket, but contextually, nothing was coming up that he could throw the bomb. So he just threw it anyway.
In
And
the
because
wrong
he
places.
threw it, and there was no context to throw it because Joe wasn't giving him those openings.
But the thing about it was this also made him look. This hurt him as far as because he had a moment there where when he and Joe had their little conflict where you could hear, kind of understand a few words of it, which always is Joe you could understand, and that's just the truth. And they were talking about his son. Well, he was talking about Hunter, the one that had died, that served.
That's
That
Bo.
Bo, rather, he was talking about Bo. Trump was trying to talk. Trump, instead of taking a moment to say, "Well, I'm sorry about Bo passing and you losing him," da da da, which really, really, because he was a war vet and all of this, and really came home early from the war with the cancer. This truly nailed in for the people that were already upset with Trump about what he said about McCain and different ones being suckers and being sorry. So you missed a point to fix that. Because not only did you not fix it, you came at this man again with the same thorn on the same side and said, well, what about the 3 point something million with Hunter? What about his drug problem? What I loved about Biden was there's not a parent out here that ain't had a child that had, if it ain't drugs, if it ain't drinking, if it ain't something, it's still something. So he looked the people in the eye and said, yes, my son had a drug issue. He's put his life together, and I am so proud of him. That was it. That was it.
One more, but the deal. By the way, his son was sitting in that audience with his wife, watching his father get attacked. But what I like is when Biden came back and he said, "You know what? This ain't about my family or his family. It's about your family." That's what we're hearing about.
And every time, did you notice how he put that eye? I don't know how that camera fitted. If I wondered, and this is the funny part, if somebody went and put a $20 bill in the cameraman's hand and said, make sure when he looked towards you, that camera go right on it. Because I almost thought he was looking through me. Or someone, because, being that my mom had COVID, that, went through it. But someone that lost someone is bad enough to go through it. But for him to say someone is missing somebody sitting at that chair, somebody's missing somebody that should be here because of what you did. And I love that as much as he attacked Biden about his son, Hunter, about that situation, Biden didn't get in the mud with him because he could have easily said, wait a minute, your daughter is getting X amount from China. Your son is finna be questioned. You understand what I'm saying? They both are being charged for having a foundation that does not exist. You're paying your daughter X amount of money for a job she's not even doing for consulting you. That's just daughterly advice.
Consulting for a job she's already on payroll for. That's double dipping.
That's what I'm talking about. So he left all that alone. He even said, that's when he said what you said. It is not about our family. This is about your family. So he kept bringing it back to the people saying, look, I want to tell you my plans because I have them. He doesn't want me to tell you my plans because he don't have any. So like
That's
you
right.
said, Denise, his whole thing is he wanted Joe, and he said it today. I heard it out of his own mouth. I heard this. I heard him say, I did a great job. It was wonderful. Everybody loved me. I don't really think he's going to come back. I heard he's trying to get out of it. So for him to say that makes me know that what you say is true. He wanted to get him razzled so much and get the Democratic Party razzled so much to say, Joe, forget it. Like Nancy was trying to say, don't do it because it ain't going to go anywhere. But what he don't know about Joe, I'm from Stratton. I'm from that middle class area, and my father lost his job. We really have pulled ourselves up by the bootstraps. Nobody gave us anything. And the reason we were able to do that is because we get up and we keep going.
The other thing is, Joe had to deal with bullies in his childhood. He had to deal with bully nuns in Catholic school. I mean, they told the story about the bullies. She bullied him in Catholic school about his stuttering. Thought she could embarrass him out of it. Silly woman. So, Donald Trump is just he's dealt with those people before. If Hillary had more experience with bullies, I bet you she would have shut Trump down from following her all over the stage that night.
Basically, I felt like if Hillary was not worried about her people calling her too strong of a woman, because Hillary's strong, she would have got him up out for her anyway.
Yeah, but she was conflicted about how to project herself. The thing I like. Another thing I like is when Biden was talking facts and figures. He said in the years that Trump's been elected, we've lost, since COVID, I believe, 237,000 jobs that are not coming back. So when he's talking about he's created this great economy. Great economy for who? Not me.
But
I
you
go to the grocery store and okay, I'm very systematized about grocery shopping.
you account.
I have a 3-page list that I print out every week. It's my master grocery list, and I cross off what I don't need and go with what I need. My same groceries that before COVID would cost me $200, I now am paying almost
I
$400.
know they went up on the food. They snuck it
He
in.
wouldn't even notice the difference. So I'm telling you, his economy ain't helping me. It's costing me more money. My insurance is going up. Everything's going up except the economy to meet
To meet the needs.
going up. So I all I can imagine is that the people who are supporting him because they say he's good for the economy is because they believe that they if they follow him, they'll be able to achieve what he's achieved. But what he's achieved is a bunch of bankruptcies and a bunch of court cases. And he's holding on to dear life to that presidency because the day after he's out, they coming for him. They
That's
got, I believe they have so many sealed indictments on his behind, it ain't even worth discussing. And you want to talk about kids and drugs, he better look to Don Jr. Because every time you see Don Jr. on Twitter, on TV, on
he high as
Facebook,
hell, and it ain't marijuana.
no.
We're gonna hold
Because
on that and do we're gonna do a video, but because I want some people to. If you missed it, I hate I gotta put you through this. But if you missed it, I want you to see just a little bit of it. We're gonna be quiet. We're not gonna talk, so you won't hear our voices while it's playing. But this is just a little bit of the debate. I promise you, I didn't give you much, but it's enough for you to understand what the hell went on.
But why didn't you do it over 20, the last 25 years?
Because you weren't
Why didn't you
president.
do it over
Because
the
you
last
weren't
25
president
years?
screwing things up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on. This
we've
is
ended
so
this. He's going to pack the
unpresidential.
court.
That
and
is
he's not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping.
You
Go ahead.
Here's
Wait a minute. You get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me.
Hey, let me just say to you.
No. Mr. President.
not
Stop.
true.
On tape doing it.
You're going to
You're on
have
tape.
True.
Gentlemen.
Is,
I hate to raise
Chris,
my voice,
he's
but
on
it seems
tape.
to be. Why should I be different than the two of you? The country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting
Oh, that's
than
all
he
right,
has.
but he does plenty.
Well, less than, sir, less
there's
than.
plenty.
No, less than you have.
Radical
Question,
left.
will you
Who
shut
is your-
up, man?
Anyway, that's when one Twitter user wrote, quote, "Will you shut up, man?" is the line of the night.
Whew, I don't know how they did that. You can't get, but you've already explained it to us, and I promise you, I do accept that with every breath in my body because I could not, for the life of me, fathom why. Because if you are trying to win, that would it's just like you said. And then there was also Lawrence O'Donnell who said he spoke with a mother of a 14-year-old. I want to be fact checked, but that mother was just in tears with that child because of what they saw. And my cousin texted me and said, "Is this a debate? This is worse than what I've done we did in the 9th grade." And
he was trying to throw him off his game.
but he hurt himself. In the mix, it
And he
made
kept
this.
because as his tricks weren't working, he kept escalating. He kept escalating because he would have loved to be able to put an ad out on Fox with Joe stuttering saying, "Is this how you want to be represented on the world stage?" He wanted to make Joe look like a fool. And instead, he's Boo Boo the fool.
Boo Boo the clown, honey.
The clown.
I mean, I'm glad you told me because I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being frustrated with him. You know, it's
And people are saying that, you know, um, 'cause, you know, people are saying that, you know, 'cause, 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 you know Joe shouldn't do any more debates. Well, first of all, this is a contractual agreement. He signed an agreement with the Presidential Commission to do these debates. So, hi, Cindy. So he doesn't have a vote about whether or not he does any more debates. He don't have a vote on that. My preference, though, now that we know how foolish Trump is going to act and how determined he is to try to get Joe stuttering by working on him psychologically, let's just do town hall meetings with the people. Set it up. Trump gets an hour with an audience, the question and answer, then that same audience stays, and Joe gets an hour. But it's clear the two of them, Trump will never show respect. So it's one more institution. He's bent the institution of the Department of Justice. He's bent the Treasury. He's bent the CDC. He's bent the FDA. He's bent the Department of Education. He's bent HUD. Every institution that we revere and trust, he's bent, but he hasn't broken. So as long as we get rid of him, those institutions will be able to snap back. But one of the last vestiges that's always been treated with respect is the presidential debate. It's supposed to be civil exchange of different ideas. And he's doing his best to destroy that. So don't give it to him anymore. Do town hall meetings. I don't want to see another debate. It's a zoo. It's a shit.
That's what I felt. Guys, we just had somebody come in, the beautiful Cindy Davis. We're going to take a commercial break, come back, introduce her really quick, and we're going to ask her what she thought about the debates, and we're going to kind of do a couple of more questions with her and Denise and everything. But let's check out the commercial real quick.
Some mornings that I wake up, I wonder whether or not we're living in 2020 or 1920. I hear the echoes of the not-so-distant past and the fights that we have fought before. In 1963, Americans witnessed the cruelty of Bull Connor and his dogs and the fire hoses assaulting hundreds of students, some as young as first grade. These images shocked the nation. Today, it's not fire hoses and snarling dogs. It's Donald Trump's poisonous and divisive politics. We've seen the rise in attacks on Jews, the attack on immigrants. His rhetoric has embodied the worst among us. If I've learned anything during the time of Donald Trump being president, it's this: hate never goes away, it just hides. I know moments like this can be disheartening. It seems like we're on the verge of so much progress just a few short years ago. That's why we have to restore the soul of the nation. But I haven't given up hope. If Bull Connor had hoped to put a stake in the heart of the civil rights movement, he achieved the exact opposite. Sometimes those who fan the flames of hate end up drawing forth the next wave of progress. We now have a tremendous opportunity because the Americans have been awakened as how bad things are. To take the next step forward, we have a great opportunity to give the marginalized, the demonized, the isolated, the oppressed a full share of the American dream. It gives us an opportunity to root out systemic racism. In the words of James Cleveland, we've come too far from where we started. Nobody told me this road would be easy. I don't believe he brought us this far to leave me. And he will not leave me because of you. So thank you all. May God bless you and may God protect our troops.
Well, we're back, and now I'm wondering for Cindy Davis. Cindy, come to the front, girl. Say something.
Hey, guys. Woo!
She's in the building. Killing them. Killing them softly.
Hey, let's talk about this.
Girl, me and Denise were talking about the debate. I want to know what you thought about the debacle. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to tell me what you thought about that debacle.
I think it was an absolute, just a disgrace. You know what I mean? Especially coming from the president of the United States. You know what I mean? To really act that way, when I was watching it, I just saw like Trump just interrupting Joe Biden, just constantly trying to just jab him. I'm like, let him talk. And I was actually happy that Joe said, "Can you shut up, man?" You know what I mean? Because that's what I want. I was like, shut up and let him talk. You know what I mean? I was really just turned off by it. Because the thing about it, we're getting into this thing where we're just slinging mud. But like I said on the last show, when we go down in the polls in November, I'm gonna be thinking about, is my family eating tonight? Do I have money in the bank account? Where's my next dollar gonna come from? I'm thinking about all these things that really matter to me. I don't care about all this, and a lot of people, like I said, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at where am I at today compared to when Trump went in office. We're almost on the verge of recession. We still have people. I'll never forget when they talk about that lady who has a newborn baby she just got evicted from her apartment because she had just lost her job, and she's in her car with her 2 newborn babies at the floorboard of her car. That's what we're voting on. And we're sitting up here and slinging mud and doing all this stuff, like that's what's important. We need somebody that's going to lead this country today, that's going to lead us out of this coronavirus and put us back on our feet again. Like that's what's important. And I was sitting up there, I was just watching this, and it was just, it was just embarrassing. I think it was absolute disgrace. I think it could have been a lot better. It really could, because people are dying. People are dying. Now, one thing I did like when Joe started standing up for his son, and started really, talking about the military. So he was like, my son, Bo. And I saw the emotion and the passion that came out of his voice, and he stood up to Trump. I like that. I was like, that's what a father does, And it seemed like it kind of threw Trump off just a little bit. Well, I'm not talking about, he didn't want to go to his son who had died, but he wanted to start talking about Hunter and trying to deflect it onto that. No, we're talking about Bo, who was in the military and who served our country, And it just once again brings it back to transgenders, He's trying to be, try and do this thing again, like, oh, I'm, LGBT community. I'm for, LGBT community. But meanwhile, he's passed things that says that transgenders can't serve in the military. What's up with that? But you're so pro LGBT, and I can't go serve for my own country. That the country that gives me the freedom to do everything that I can, for the freedom to be me. This country gives me the freedom to be Cindy. Why can't I go fight for that? Why can't I go protect that? That's not okay. So honestly, like I agree with Denise. I think that really there's really no need for any more debates. If there was one, I'd probably want to see probably Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I probably want to see that.
Yeah, you want her to take on Donald. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah,
I think there's a case that needs to be prosecuted on this one, especially when it comes to his New York. These tax returns are starting to come out, because we really need to talk about those $750 that he wants to pay in federal taxes. All these write-offs that he's doing. I'm like, $750. That's it. I paid more than that.
No, I don't pay more than that.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Girl, and he skipped and dipped and tripped around that. And since you brought up the LGBTQ and these things, we're gonna talk more too, Denise, real quick. Everybody's gonna get a minute and a half. The race issue. Remember they asked him about African Americans. Did you notice how he ended up flipping that even more? He took a dig on us.
What he did, which is almost like the big tell when you're talking to a white supremacist. When they brought up race relations, he brought up law and order.
Mm-hmm.
He did not address systemic racism. He basically said them niggas is out of control.
Come on, Cindy.
Joe, will you agree with me? Are you for law and order? And Joe was like, what? Like, of course I am. That's not the point. So He would not address it because he's not going to do anything. He's not going to say anything. He put out, I didn't even bother reading it. I should have, I will. But he put out some platinum thing, the Black Platinum Project, whatever. It's a last gasp effort in, the waning days of his presidency to throw a bone at black people, HBCU money, things like that. But everybody knows he's not trustworthy. He's absolutely not trustworthy. And so him coming up with this at the last minute, quite frankly, it's insulting. It's insulting that at the last minute he thinks he can offer us a bone and we'll jump and bite it. Let that boy, that black Republican, Tom Scott, whoever he is, like they say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. He was like, oh, Donald Trump misspoke. He didn't mean it that way.
Oh, he said it the way he meant it. Cindy, what do you think about the fact that he is truly dancing around this COVID virus, this COVID epidemic that is killing, and as Joe Biden said, and it scared me, because it went from one and how many, and then he said in the next 3 months, and this is our African, and he said, and a lot of it is the African American community. This man won't even acknowledge and speak on it. You know what? He's still saying China. I couldn't believe he was getting away with saying this. So what do you think, Cindy?
He doesn't have a plan. That's, if you don't have a plan, just say that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a plan to address this, and he never had, and he never will. Okay? His whole agenda about going into the White House was to demolish each and everything that Obama did. That's it. That's all. Okay? So now that stuff started to come up. Oh, we have the coronavirus is all coming up. He wasn't prepared for that. Let us have it. This is actually twice as bad as 9/11. But say, for instance, like a terrorist attack was to happen. How is he going to respond to this and unite the country around it when we're just so divided? You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, he doesn't have a plan for anything, and I think I'll probably, when it comes down to it, the American people needed to know that, instead of covering up, talking about the stock market and doing all this stuff, we need to know the truth, because our lives and everything is on the line. We don't need somebody it'll go away. I like how Joe Biden said, you said it was going to go away by the summer when the heat comes up, that it was going to go away. Well, it hasn't.
Didn't go away Easter.
No.
Oh, and he told him to inject, maybe you want to inject yourself with Clorox.
He said that was misquoted.
I took a handful of popcorn. I'm like, get him, Joe.
But if he had allowed Joe to get him, Joe could have got him.
And even if he was, who wants to be sarcastic when people are dying? I don't need somebody up in the White House being sarcastic, talking about injecting bleach when we're dying and we're scared and we're looking for a solution.
Right.
How is it that we can protect my family, protect me, protect my family? I don't need somebody in the White House being sarcastic with my life.
Girl,
it is unacceptable.
Say it again.
It is unacceptable.
Say it again. No, you don't need nobody. Don't be playing with me when this shit is real. You talking about some bleach? I got some bleach for your ass. I bought some gasoline, and you get me two just a feet close to your ass and give me a match. Then we can talk. That part right there. Now I'm threatening you, but you got my whole life, my family's life, everybody I know, everybody I love, every friend, people I just want to be okay. Everyone, and you're holding that and playing games with it, Russian roulette.
It's unacceptable.
And please understand, because I feel like the point needs to be made every time we talk about how the blacks and Latinos are dying at a higher rate. The blacks and Latinos are dying at a higher rate because we are the essential workers. We are the ones driving the buses. We are the ones at the checkout counters. We are the ones setting up the shelving at Target. Look where we are. The majority of us cannot do our jobs remotely. We have to go in. The majority of us are not in managerial positions where we have time off and sick days. And even if we did, those would have been used up by the end of April.
Girl, they've been
So,
used up by end of March.
right. And it's not financially something we were able to do. I know teachers who had their own children. They're terrified about going into the classroom. They're terrified.
Some
that
of them are saying, forget it. Do what you want. I'll figure something else out. Because I need to be here for my kids.
That's true.
Yeah, I know a couple of them that they said, I said, well, you're not at work. No, I'll take whatever happens, but I got to be here for mine.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
And that lays at the feet of Trump. Mm-hmm. Because he had plenty, he tried to bring up, which I did not know. He brought up the H1N1 and told Joe, yeah, you guys didn't handle that. He said, yeah, we lost 14,000 people.
We talking about 200,000 now, dog. We talking about 200,000. And all lives matter. But we talking about 200,000 and still going, and you won't even call the word out.
American lives.
American life. And you know what? He is a murderer. And I'm going to tell you something else y'all forgetting. You got people that have killed themselves through depression, through different things of dealing with this because they couldn't handle it. That's more lives that are still under the helm and the umbrella of COVID. You are a murderer.
And Trump blames that on Democrats because he's saying the Democrats are not letting us open up the states. It's the Democrats keeping the states closed. And that's why people are going through depression and substance abuse, and alcoholism is on the rise. Well, if he had done his job in January, we should have had the same kind of results as Germany and the other countries who got it together early and shut it down. They shut it down. Period.
And we're gonna come. We gotta get ready to let Denise go. And we're gonna get Cindy to say a few more things. We're gonna show a very short video discussing the white supremacy because see, Trump did a dog whistle, well, a bullhorn whistle, that Denise said, from Kamala Harris, and that was the slickest shit I ever heard. And I'm like, damn, they're gonna just let that. And see, this is where I'm at with it, keeping it real. You know what I mean? They're gonna just let that shit just slide. I'm gonna be like, still, we gotta be, because see, my people, we they don't want to hear. Well, he said something that was very. No, you got to be real with him. What he did, what he said, let all of us know that is a bigot and a racist. That's who he is. That's who he's gonna be. And if you want to keep him in office, black, and it ain't just black people, because all of his shit flows down here. Mm-hmm. It's gonna affect everybody. It's gonna be a very short video. We're gonna show a little bit of where we could be if we don't get this under control.
And Ben, let's talk about that rhetoric, stand by message. Talk to me about.
They've printed T-shirts that they put on Amazon that say exactly that: stand back and stand by. This is a group, along with a lot of other militia groups who have been in Portland, who have been in Kenosha, who have been in these places. They've just been dying for the president to give them tacit approval of what they're doing, and create this talking point that Antifa is taking over America or whatever. So every part of that response from the president was a perfect response for the Proud Boys. They were so excited. There were videos of them responding to this. The official Proud Boys account on one of these channels literally howled like dogs back at the president. This is exactly what they wanted. They've been waiting for this for 4 or 5 years, and they got it last night from the president.
And Ben, let's just fact check also those who are saying that Joe Biden's response was inaccurate, because that's not the case about Antifa.
Him in Ohio.
Yes, girl, that's him in Ohio, and that's what went down. We talking about, and then he keeps speaking about the Proud Boys. This is how we gonna end this. I think Janice already went out. This is how we gonna end this, Cindy. When you look over this, you and I have been through a lot with this. Honest to God, we really have. This is the way we're going to end it. We're going to end it powerfully. Because we've been through a lot with this. We were there from the beginning with Hillary when it started, when we thought it was just a fucking ass game and it couldn't happen. And this was a fucking joke. We didn't even think he was going to debate her. and we didn't even think he would even have a fucking seat. So here you and I are at the end of this, at the end of this show, at the most powerful moment, because it began with you and I watching this shit happen, and never believing it could happen, laughing sometimes, scared sometimes, then coming to work with a heart filled with fear, both of us, to the point where you saw I almost got into it with the vice president of the company because of me knowing what would happen, which is happening with him being here. So now, knowing what we know and looking at what we're looking at, what do we do this time, Cindy?
We can't take this election for granted. We really can't. Because it seems like he's going to try and pull out all the stops, to try and, get the black vote. I saw how he was on the debate, pulling out even Kanye West as a clown, like, hey, vote for Kanye. Like, we ain't going to vote for him, I think that a lot of people, we thought it was a joke. We did. Like Trump, like he can't win. We thought everybody thought that Hillary had it in the bag, and it was all good. But the thing about it, people, they just, I don't know. A lot of people just didn't feel Hillary. And I loved her. I loved Hillary.
Me too.
I thought it was her time. It was her time.
It was her time. She really won, Cindy. That's the thing.
She did, and it was stolen from her.
It was stolen from her. So what I need you to talk to, and what we're talking to, is all of our people. Every race, every color, every creed. We are. But you and I have also a little bit of an obligation to our LGBTQ family, because Trump is taking away the teachings, of how to handle hate, or how to work with treating people that are different, and making sure they feel good about themselves or feel safe. So some of the things that would be on his ballot, is if he's reelected, will affect the both of us in more ways than one. And speak to your family and your friends and tell them what needs to be done.
I would tell them they really need to vote. If anything, they really need to get up and vote, and stop taking chances with the elections, because elections do have consequences, because the Supreme Court is on this ballot. It is truly on this ballot, and from the way that it looks, Trump's going to nominate, and with the way things are right now, it looks like they're going to. And I'm almost glad that Joe Biden didn't say anything, because there's no way that we could sit up there with a 6-3. Supreme Court, it's unacceptable. So to all the people, this election, has consequences. And I don't see how even me myself can go another 4 years of Trump, just with the drama, with the tweets, with the lies. It's all unnecessary. Come on, and now we have other countries sitting up here looking at us like, we can't go flying really anywhere outside of the United States because our coronavirus numbers are too high. They're sitting here watching all this, and it's just,
we almost feel like we are in Putin territory, don't we?
Yeah, and he's trying so hard to be a dictator, but you can't, because we are the United States. We have a vote. We have a democracy. Whether we're going to vote and it's going to decide whether he's going to be in the office or not. And he's trying to do this. We'll see. We'll contest it, because we already know he's trying to lay out.
He's trying to steal electoral votes by making it go to the Supreme Court, and also after he's appointed her. And he's guaranteed that he might win through the Supreme Court, which means they do away with kind of, it's like the Electoral College won't make a difference. It was so close that the Supreme Court had to make the decision, so they will vote to make him president.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. Guys, we got to get out of here, but the one thing I want, Cindy and I want you to understand, this ain't no joke. This is not no joke. We laugh, Cindy and I, because we know that we have to keep the joy within us, you know, and it's a laugh to keep from crying situation. But this woman stomps every day, trying her best, always for years, every day. We watch these others back doing this, trying to make sure. So when we're talking to you guys, we've been fighting this battle for a lot of years. We shed a lot of tears with Hillary. Happy tears. They're in Vegas when she, won Vegas. A lot of things. And then to see her have it stolen. And we know it. We know it. We have a friend, we won't say her name. You know who I'm talking about, Cindy. From there that stopped even, I think, gave up for a minute after it happened. Now, an AE we knew. And that's because she had a diehard love for Hillary Clinton. And she really believed with everything that woman won. Well, we're going to end with the fact that Hillary Clinton beat your ass, Donald Trump. She beat your ass over 2 million strong. And that you were such a punk. You had to have Putin and them fix it for you. You probably didn't know they fixed it because if Corin is right, you didn't think you were going to win. You wasn't trying to win. You was trying to brand yourself. This is what happened when you pick motherfuckers that's out trying to make a brand for themselves, and then they get in and get the feeling of power. See, y'all think y'all hurting us. Cindy and I, for who we are, being black, being in the LGBTQ transgender community, we've always had to fight for something. And we'll continue to fight the battles. But you Salt and some of you others, you got a man that is willing to do anything to hold on to this, even hurt you. So I feel for you. If you don't get your ass out and vote, and I mean, this vote has to be so strong that they don't have to wait on the ballots. Tell them, Cindy, it's got to be so. We got to beat him so bad.
Contest it.
Yeah.
Because he's going to try and do this like, it's so paper thin, and he's going to try anything to try and weasel his way through this. He tried to do it in 2016. Saying it's rigged. And then with this, he's trying to say like the mail-in ballots are there. He's trying to line up this conspiracy, and it's wrong. And how did he vote?
He voted mailed in. Mailed in. Daughters, kids, all of them mailed in. The thing about it,
mail ours in because we want to save our lives because we don't want to go outside and stand in line and potentially get the coronavirus. Oh, it's illegal. It's illegal there, and then telling people that they need to be at the polls watching, telling his supporters to engage in illegal act. That's illegal.
No, he's telling them to scare them. And I'm gonna tell you something. Scared to me ain't the mother he got out there trying to watch me. Scared to me is another 3 years of not knowing what's going on with COVID, and I'm still stuck in the house or still can't really be free to go anywhere. See, when you have people in a cage like animals, they're gonna come out, and black people have been. Come on now. What we need to do, we're gonna end with this. Call Minister Farrakhan, get his men out there too, watching the watchers. We got enough people. Get them old school Black Panthers. Y'all Compton wannabes, wanna be in the gang. Y'all get out there and protect your mom and grandma and sisters and everything. And no fighting, but just get out and watch like they watching. Show them something they ain't never seen before. But vote. You waited in line. I watch you because I was in line at Costco's too, mask, everything on, all covered up. You can stand in the line. You can stand. You can stand to get his ass out. And if you vote early. Don't play around with it. Because, see, if you get in early, that's another thing. Then you have the right people able to open them and count them. What we want is for the people to say, damn, this was a landslide. We ain't even worrying about the votes that are coming in because the votes that are here and the people that have came in and voted have did such an amazing job until even if these votes come, Trump, you've already lost. Cindy, you remember before we got home when President Obama was running, we didn't make it. We got home at that time when we were 8, 9 o'clock shift. They announced him as the winner before 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's what we want. Tell them what we want. We want that announced before 10 o'clock at night.
And if that happens, I'm going to get the best sleep at night. For once.
No, you're not. Because I'm going to have to call you 10 times to make sure you heard what I heard.
Oh, my God. I will be able to actually sleep and be like, oh, my God, there's a change that's going to really
come. There's a brighter day coming. You hear me? Guys, that's what Cindy and I are trying to tell you. Now, Cindy rushed in from work and class and doing everything that she's doing to be a part of this, and this is so appreciated. It's not even over. Really, she don't realize me, her, and Denise and all of us, our jobs are just beginning. So we're going to get ready to let her get some rest. If anybody needs to reach out to Cindy, definitely call it. Go into I'm Just Saying, which is I'm Just Saying, IMJUSTSAYIN, D Johnson, D Johnson at gmail.com. Any kind of fan mail you want to write her, it will get right to Miss Cindy Davis. If it's something that you want, if you're a good looking guy, send a picture. Send a picture, please. Because my sister's educated, good job, great heart. So I'm going to be watching to make sure you do right. But anyway, just letting you guys know, you're going to see a whole lot more of her. Like I said, as always, Cindy, we love you. We love you. And thank you for being on. And let everybody know, knowledge is your power. That's why I bring these smart and wonderful people in. And I'm telling you, she was in a conference with Joe Biden, I think it was last week. So she's out stomping for Biden. And when I say stomping, she ain't somebody just sitting back saying, I'm gonna vote on the 3rd. No, she's doing the damn thing.
Yep.
Every call, every running of the campaign, every little thing that we used to do and making sure of things and everything, she's still doing it every day strong. So guys, we want to say thank you to Cindy for your hard work, your diligent work, and making sure that if this is victorious, you were a part of this. And we're going to go out with the knowledge is power. But as you see Cindy always do, love is everything. I'm just saying. So you guys have a wonderful night. Cindy, we love you for being a part of the show and for trying to make this world a better place for the people. And that's everyone. All right? Our LGBTQ transgender community can be thankful for what you're doing. I'm just saying. And we out. So have a good one, Cindy, girl.
All right. Thank you, Dion.
All right, now.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice, don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence. Let these words dry the tears of our people that are crying. We can bring back hope, but not the people that are dying. It's what happens when the people you've oppressed ask for change in the country that they built, but you've ignored and denied. This for Sandra Bland, George Floyd, and every single family. Police brutality is intervened in and destroyed. Couple bad cops can't define all you other boys, so every good cop needs to stand up and make some noise. Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter cause we can't avoid. So let's all come together, join hands, and just get annoyed at people who believe racism makes sense in a country built up minorities, slave work employed. Nobody's born racist, man, it's something you learn, deep rooted in your brain from the day of your birth. I think it's time that we repair all of these bridges we burned and let love out of our hearts onto the cheeks we've turned. Spread love, show love, let's get rid of this curse. Don't wait for anyone to act, man, you go first. 400 years wasted, let's get rid of this hurt, cause that's the only way we'll ever see peace on earth.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Change is what we really need. Cut me open, cut you open, res the color every single human being bleeds. Let's come together, cops, citizens, and in between, and rally for the rights of everybody in humanity. Black, blue, white, green, playing for the same team. Mine, I'm okay, but boy, that doesn't mean I can't dream. Black lives matter, shouldn't anger you or make you scream. All lives matter, cause we aren't treated equally. Remember when we were kids and didn't see color, and when we played in kindergarten and I called you my brother. Then we grew up and they taught us we should hate on each other, even though we weren't in the same and we all came from our mothers. I hope y'all understand, hate is not a trait, it was learned, man. Equality's the quality we need inside this earth, man. Give and receive is the karma that you earn, man.
what you make it. I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it. But I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it. But I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it. But I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. They say life is what you make it. But I'm a legend in the making. I know just